Well, hey guys, I'm back. Well, hey guys, I'm Natalie. This is Hey It's a Good Life, and I'm so glad you're here. This is my channel, which I have dedicated to gardening and some cooking, and I have been absent. Now there's a whole 40 subscribers here, and I'm so honored that you're here. And a lot of my videos, I mistakenly put new videos daily, but that's when I was vlogging every day, and that's not so true anymore. Whew. Let's just do a quick story time. Remember that video that I made that I said if I'm not here, it's because I'm taking care of myself? I've been trying to take care of myself, and I have not even been able to have the strength to get the video camera out and set this up because I haven't even been able to sit. I pulled a series of muscles in my abdomen, low back, and leg, and it has been so painful. Not even being able to sit is so demoralizing. But anyway, did want to at least make mention as to why I haven't been here, and I'm so sorry if you've been expecting videos. I hope you can understand how having a serious injury has prevented me from doing that. Again, so sorry, but alas, here we are. I'm back. I'm not 100% better yet, but I'm not going to take up this whole video with talking about my pain because what we believe affects how we heal, and I believe that my body is a healing machine. So I'm going to set my intention on that and focus on that and believe that healing is possible for me. And I really wanted to make this video right now at about 8 o'clock in the morning because there have been some changes out here in the garden, and I miss you guys. I wanted to show you guys what it looks like in my garden at 8 a.m. Like, the early morning hours out here are my absolute favorite times to be out here. It's such a little oasis, and I love it. So I wanted to share that with you guys, even though there are some parts of my garden that are in shambles, like this stuff. I will still take you for a full garden tour and show you guys what I'm growing and what's changed since the last time I saw you, and give you an idea of what's happening for this fall and what I've learned in the season of my first home garden that I grew during this summer. So without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, this is my little view in the morning, and we live in a tiny apartment in Southern California, which is way expensive. But man, this little view of all this green and seeing all of this grow is just such a gift. I love walking out here in the morning. So we'll just go for a little tour here. So here's part of the magic, you guys. I just love it out here. I literally come out here every day, do my little devotional, sit in this chair, and just soak it in. This is my view every morning. Like, and I get to hang out with these two scoundrels. First up on the tour is Lazarus, my hydrangea, who I lovingly resurrected from the dead, guys. I did not pay attention to the fact that hydrangeas need afternoon shade, definitely, and basically need mostly shade. And I thought he was done. I moved him over here, and this turned green. So I don't know what that is. I haven't looked into it yet. Not a priority at the moment. Okay, you guys have to see this. Baron. Oh! Oliver, do not drink that! Ugh. Oliver wants to drink this raccoon water that the raccoons freaking drank out of last night. Little devils. Okay, this is my really janky bird feeder. Bird water for the birds. Okay, what's it called? Bird bath. Super just making the most of what I have. Oliver, are you proud of yourself? No, we're hanging out and you're part of the tour and you cannot leave just yet. No, you cannot just leave yet. Hello. You're so cute. Oh, no. Don't go over there, buddy. Go this way. Okay, back to the tour. Here are my mums, which my mom gave me, and I recently pruned back really hard, and he's grown into a really funky shape, so he needs some love. But another plant that just brings me so much joy because it's connected to gardening with my mom, and that's pretty special to me. Here's kind of another thing in the garden is this hutch. This hutch is something that Tommy and I found on the side of the road, and I begged him to go back and get it, and he did, and it was free, and it was something I had been thinking of, and it was the perfect size, and I don't know, man. Things just seem to work out like that for me when I really set my focus on it. I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind. Like, things will fall into life the way you focus on them, and I focused on having a hutch and literally showed up the same week on the side of the road. Like, what are the odds? So anyway, this is kind of a cool thing that when I'm feeling better, I'm going to transform, and I'd love to show you guys what my plans are for that. What else do we have here? Planting some new things, like some new milkweed and marigold. Truth be told, I didn't label them. I forgot what I planted. It's a really nasty habit of mine. I love this little watering can. I got it from Hobby Lobby. It doesn't even have a cool story or anything, but I got it originally to hold my photo props, and I wanted it to be like multifunctional. Like, if I needed it as a watering can, I could use it for that as well, which is what it is. And I love it. This is one of my bougainvillea plants. I have the other one out front, which is kind of suffering from cabbage moth and lack of water, so I need to go tend to him. Here's something cool that I've been wanting to show you guys. It's this little sign from my grandmother's home, and the last night that we were there before we sold it, I cried and cried and cried and took this little sign with me. And Tommy and I think, had just gotten engaged, and I said, let's take this with us and take it as part of our home. So now it hangs in my garden. It once hung on her stucco, actually. She had stucco walls. It once hung on her stucco walls, and now it hangs on mine. It once hung on her patio, and now it's in mine, so that's kind of fun. Ah, yes, this little plant. This is a plant that I saved from my mom's home, which, wow, hello. We have new growth. That's really exciting. I basically accidentally chopped off the roots in trying to extract this plant. My mom's like, you killed it. But I would just like to say that no, I did not. No, I did not kill it, because look at that. Look, Ma, new growth. There you go. So, keeping it alive. This is one of my fur children. Bear. Bear, are you a troublemaker? What are you doing? Are you going to pretend like you weren't just scratching a hole in the screen? You want to go inside, but you're part of the tour, so you have to stay out here. Oh my God. Oliver. Winston Oliver, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you going for a tour? Oh, my baby. He's looking for grass, you guys. So I posted on Instagram yesterday that the first thing I ever grew to harvest was actually cat grass for these two. And with the raccoons visiting recently, his stomach is upset and he's all nervous and he just wants his grass. I'll show you where it is, sunshine. Let me show you. It's down here, okay? Come here. It's right there, Stinky. Yeah, see? They love this stuff. Oh, but don't film him. Okay. Okay, so I showed you the hydrangea and the chrysanthemum and this whole area. Hello, Ollie. Hi, handsome. Oliver likes to sit right here and keep an eye on everything. Don't you, handsome? Yes, you do. I guess I'll give you a little tour over here. So these were originally, so this is lemon thyme, English thyme, rosemary, and upright rosemary, I think, something like that. And these were originally planted in the garden beds as a kind of way to deter pests, and it didn't really work, and it was taking up room, so I actually transplanted them. So since the last time you have been here in my garden, these have been transplanted into containers. This is the milkweed that I was growing wild monarchs on, and we had 4, and then they chewed it all down. 2 of them found new homes, and 2 of them I managed to keep in this little tent over here. And I don't know if I have the physical capacity to undo that tent and show you guys, because I'm starting to feel it a little bit. But look at this super makeshift tent, you guys. It's a scarf with wooden dowels in it with a giant plant of milkweed. So, you know, just use what you can. Okay, here's another part of my garden is the morning glory. Next to the white millet, this was like the first package of seeds I ever bought, and it successfully grew. And for whatever reason, I always have a problem with some part of the plant, and I haven't quite figured it out yet, but like, look up here, look at these beautiful leaves, and there was even a flower there yesterday. And so what I've done to kind of compensate for that is obviously watered it a lot, gave it nutrients, but I also just planted some new seeds. So we've got some new morning glory coming up. This was the first plant that I ever bought that I actually kept alive. I did not grow him from seed. This is a Mandeville that I bought, and it was about that tall when I bought him, and he's grown to be about 4 feet tall now. And Tommy's very attached to that plant because it was like the first plant that we ever decorated with on our first home. So I can never get rid of that plant, basically. And that plant's been through a lot. He had aphids, and I learned how to care for aphids through that plant. And then I learned the effects of using soapy water on plants, and he lost a bunch of leaves. So that plant has taught me a lot, and I'm very grateful for it. Okay, now time for one of my absolute favorite plants, which I also just propagated from local foliage. I don't even know if I can show you how big this plant is. There's my foot. I shouldn't do that, but there's my foot. And there's the plant, and it is so large. Guys, this plant is so cool. I love this plant. It's elephant ear, alocasia, I believe, and it grows so easily in the right conditions, which is basically like partial shade, half sun. And now he's got these giant ears. And I just love, this is one of my favorite things about this plant, is the way the water catches that morning dew. And by morning dew, I mean sprinkler water. Look at that. I love it. Since the last time I saw you, I also planted some things in my hanging baskets. As you can tell, that's nasturtium. Don't know what else I planted. Literally planted a random hummingbird mix. Just threw it in there and said good luck. Now this is hard to tell what this is, but this is butterfly bush. As you can see by these little things. And this is one of the first plants that I purchased after moving into this home. And this plant has also taught me a lot about aphids and watering and sunlight. This plant has taught me a lot, so really grateful for this plant, and haven't quite figured out how to master Buddleia not getting leggy. As you can tell, she's quite leggy, but what are you gonna do? Okay, I don't think I've ever introduced you guys to this. Look at this little guy. This is a birdhouse that also at some point had little things hanging from it. What's it called? With wind chimes. Had wooden wind chimes, and I hand carried it all the way home from Uruguay for my dad, thinking, oh, this is bitchin', he's gonna think it's so cool. My dad didn't really like it, and I think he eventually took it down, and now I own it. So there's the story on this little birdhouse, and every year I hope that some little bird will make his home there. It's so funny to me. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, how long have I had this birdhouse, and how many times has a bird used it? I think never. But, you know, maybe one day. I also have jasmine plant growing over here. Yeah, she needs some help. She doesn't have the right nutrient mix right now, but again, just kind of low on the priority list if I'm honest. Okay, are you ready for the garden bed tours? All right, so I've lined my garden beds with Buddleia. And over here was like our salad bar garden. And I planted some zinnia, which are just so beautiful. So beautiful. Check it out. The salad, truth be told, the salad has not done so great. Saw a lot more growth in the school garden than here, and I'm not sure what that's about. I think it might actually have to do with the wood chips. I don't think that the soil I got needs a wood chip covering, which is kind of unfortunate because I worked so hard to get those wood chips. But as I start to transplant things for fall, I think I might actually pull the wood chips because I think the roots need more heat or something. Like, look at this lantana. I planted it a week ago and I have not seen a lot of new growth. It's just so weird. I don't understand. I think the wood chips are somehow inhibiting the growth. So gotta look into that. This is some cat grass that I planted for the cats. But I just love these zinnia. These are so cool. Okay. Oh, Oliver, are you done out here? Okay. All right, in garden bed number 2, we've got some more zinnia, which is finally in bloom. We've got onions. These are onions. We've got some German heirloom tomatoes. Check out how cool these are. Aren't they so beautiful? I love these things. Over here, we've got some better boy tomatoes. And these are my tomatoes, and those are Tommy's tomatoes. So my better boy tomatoes are doing pretty well. We've got a couple growing. Are you done? Goodbye, bear. All right, and for the 3rd garden bed, I planted some green beans for fall. Isn't that so cool? Super excited about that. Green beans are like a family treat, and we do them up real special, and they taste real good, and I'm really looking forward to those. Ooh, look, a ladybug. Oh, bye. Something I learned this year in gardening is that these squash blossoms are edible, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Here is my herb garden, which is taking a long time to grow. Again, I think it's got something to do with the soil. I'm not too sure. I'm just going to start throwing nutrients at the soil if I don't see new growth soon. Here are our sunflowers. Getting some buds on there, so that's exciting. Here are my strawberries, which have had such a rough go, poor things. But I think they finally have a good spot with the right amount of sun and the right depth of soil and no wood chips, and I think they're happy there. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it for the garden tour. I guess a couple things I forgot to mention where I'm trying to grow impatiens here. What I'm really working on is developing a potager garden, which is a garden that incorporates style and design, but also like an ecosystem by using like plants and flowers to help one another. And so I'm just learning about that as I go. I'm certainly not an expert, but part of this area is dedicated to different flowers that I love, and basically this whole left side of the garden is like the flowers that I love section. And here's some verbena. Just love the way that looks in the sunshine in the morning. And here's some lantana, one of the first plants I ever transplanted here. Some bacopa, which is hard to see, kind of died, but I'm bringing it back. As you can see, it's coming back slowly. And some dianthus, I believe, which are all, at least the dianthus and the butterfly bush and the verbena are all pollinator friendly. So, and there's Bear. Hi, Bear. Are you being a rascal as per usual? Yeah. And over here, I guess I'll show you guys what I'm up to. I built a pergola, and then I dismantled the pergola because it was so ugly. And then this is also a trellis that I used to grow, I can't remember what now, morning glory, I think. And I love to use fishing line for stuff. So this is actually a trellis made of fishing line because it's what I had on hand and it's super inexpensive. The way that I did it though was basically one giant strand, and it ended up kind of falling apart a little bit. So what I'd like to do is use some of the chicken wire and basically remove the fishing line and put the chicken wire in its place and then train some morning glory. See? So there's a plan. There's a plan, I promise. So eventually, yeah, these things will serve as I almost want to grow beans over here. I mean, I don't know if this is good enough sunlight for them, but I kind of want to grow beans. So I don't know. We'll see. It would be cool to have, my goal is to have like 2 walls of green, basically, just green foliage. I think that would be really rad. So we'll see. All right, guys, well, that concludes our garden tour for today. I promised at the beginning of this video that I would show you guys some of what I learned, and as I was going around the garden beds thinking about all these different things that I've learned, I realized I've actually learned a lot, like way more than I give myself credit for. Yeah, I still feel like a beginning gardener because I still have so many questions, and I'll be out here and I don't always really know what's going on. I still feel like such a baby gardener, and yet other people are turning to me and saying, "Oh, garden guru, will you come help me?" Which I am so honored by and so thrilled by, because of course I want to help other people get in the garden, and of course I want to help people design their backyards. Like, that's so cool. But the reality is I still have a lot to learn. So on one hand, it's kind of like it's a mixed bag. On one hand, I still have a lot to learn, but on the other hand, this morning I realized I've learned a lot in 1 year. So I'm going to make a whole other video about what I've learned, and I'd like to start creating content for those of you who think you can't garden, or for those of you who keep putting it off, because I was like that too, and I thought that I couldn't garden, and I put off making these raised beds a whole year. I wanted to do this last summer. Last summer. Basically, this time last year, this is what I wanted to do, and it took me almost a year to get it started because I kept making excuses, and bound to fail. That's part of gardening. Like, gardening teaches me to have a growth mindset all the stinking time. And so if you feel like you can't garden, or there's just something holding you back, I want to encourage you, take the leap of faith, my friend. Buy a plant that you enjoy and just learn about that one plant. I will be here to create some content to hopefully help you in starting that journey. And I don't know what that looks like just yet. So if you guys have questions about gardening, or just want to learn more, I'd love to hear from you so that I can create some content that is meaningful and adds value to your life. And if I don't hear from you guys, well, I will just give it my best effort to create something that I think would be meaningful for a beginning gardener. So yeah, I want to encourage you, if you're thinking about starting a garden, just do it. Just do it. I promise that it'll be worth it. All right, well, that is all the time I have for today. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I'm so honored that there's a whole 40 subscribers. I remember when I started this channel and I was like, okay, I have 0. I literally have 0, and that's depressing. But now I have 40, and that's like a huge accomplishment to me. So thank you so much for being here. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below because I'd love to hear from you, and share if you feel so inclined. All right, guys, that's it. I'm cutting myself off. No more talking. I gotta go. I'm gonna go see my friends. It's the first time I've seen my friends in a long time. I'm really looking forward to seeing them. So I'm gonna go get my act together, and I will see you guys next time in the garden. Hey, do not drink that water. No, no, Oliver?